Welcome to Between State Lines.
Welcome back to Between State Lines, episode 22. Last week we discussed a lot of random stuff, but most importantly, the Bennington Triangle, which Steph has said that she really wants to visit and she really wants to find that stone and buy
No,
it.
I would accidentally find the stone. Terrifying. I would accidentally find it.
Do you have any
Step on.
enemies that you want to send it to?
I don't have any enemies, but there are a couple people that would be cool if they found it.
I can think of a few, and
I think we're on the same
I
page.
think we're on the same page.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page about it.
So, so part two, we're gonna keep this conversation going about mysterious triangles. And the next triangle is my favorite, if there's a favorite one. It's called the Dragon's Triangle or the Devil's Sea. Um,
It
yeah,
sounded
it's
cool
located
with the dragons, but
the I mean, I like the Dragon's Triangle name, but I also think the Devil's Sea is pretty cool.
it's cool. But I'd be like, okay, not going there.
I'd be like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna investigate this area and find all these missing people.
You
Um,
would.
I, so it's located near the Japanese coast in the Pacific Ocean. It's one of the 12 vile vortices around the world. And if you don't know what a vile vortice is, those are areas where the pull of the planet's electromagnetic waves is stronger than anywhere else. So places like the Bermuda Triangle is also considered a vile vortice. Um, as the title indicates, the Dragon's Triangle extends as a triangle between Japan and the islands of Bonin, including a major portion of the Philippine Sea. Uh, the exact location has been disputed for some time, but it's relatively between Japan, the Philippines, and Guam in that area ish. Um, it has been referred to commonly as the Pacific Bermuda Triangle, which denotes its position that is precisely opposite to the Bermuda Triangle and the similarities in the paranormal phenomenon of the area that rivals that of the Bermuda Triangle. Um, According to legends, the waters of the Devil's Sea can engulf the mightiest of ships and their crew, which has the region very famous for ship disappearances. Uh, First, conqueror Kublai Khan, the fifth great Khan of the Mongol Empire and grandson of Genghis Khan, had tried to make inroads in Japan in 1274 and 1281 AD. However, both times he failed after losing his vessels and 40,000 crew members in this specific area, reportedly due to typhoons. They later abandoned the plan to invade Japan, and the Japanese believed that God sent typhoons to save them from their enemies.
40,000 people.
3,000 just gone.
Wow. How big was this area?
That's the thing. It's like there's no like civic and people dispute all the time. It's like it could be a huge area or it could be a small area. It's like, okay, I think it's this area, but nobody wants to like be specific from what I can find on the internet. It's like it's kind of like in this space, but
Yeah, it's a very mysterious area. We don't even know how big it is. Interesting. And very scary. I don't know. There's something about like I understand the Bermuda Triangle and like the like aircraft aspect of it, but something about losing a bunch of boats. That's pretty scary. They
yeah,
are made to be on water. I don't know what the typhoons might be like over there. Yeah, 40,000 people.
40,000. And there's also a lot of I went on like this super deep dive into this, and then there's also a ton of stories of like ghost ships being found at sea, like ships that went out into the world, into the ocean, and with they're manned with people and supplies, and then like they were found just floating with their supplies intact, but no one on board. One instance was a ship was unintentionally set adrift because of a hurricane, and so it was just floating out to sea. And the U.S. Coast Guard decided, after like observing it for like 2 weeks, that they were just going to sink it because there was like a danger to the crash into, um, a dock or whatever on land. So they sank it, and it's currently residing, I believe, off the shore of Alaska at the bottom of the ocean.
Why wouldn't they just go check out the ship?
That's what I said. I was like, why don't you just send someone onto the ship and like, you know,
Direct it
cast it?
somewhere else.
Yeah, like I don't
Go
get why you
park it.
couldn't do that. Go
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, instead they're like, let's sink it.
it.
But they're like, this would be fun. No, go check it out. What the hell?
This would be cool. Let's just bomb this thing. Um,
Well, then, what if
speaking of,
there's somebody stuck below board or something, and instead of helping them, you just went and sunk it, you asshole?
so I think I left a crucial detail out. They went on the ship and verified that nobody's on board. It was just empty. And then
That's
I don't know,
worse.
right? I don't know why you're on the ship. Like you're not like, why don't you just send it, like cast it somewhere? You can like tow a boat. Like that's a thing you could do is tow a boat. Like you can tow a boat somewhere. Like you
You
can
can
have another
dock
boat.
it.
You could die. Yeah. I
You
don't know
do
why you
not
gotta
have to sink it.
freaking sink.
It seems like honestly, that's going to cause you more problems if you just go sink it. Like,
It's the typical American government response. Like, oh, let's just destroy this thing. Like that seems pretty cool, right?
yeah, just like okay, have you heard of that whale in Oregon? There's like a whale that washed ashore. This happened a long time ago, and there's like this law that made the an animal that big coming up on the coast the problem of the Department of Transportation. And so the Department of Transportation were like, we don't have the supplies, the tools, the resources for any of this. So they asked like the Navy, I think. And the Navy was like, blow it up. And so they did, but they didn't use enough like of the explosives for it. And so instead of it disintegrating, it actually just like blew it up and big chunks of it were everywhere. And so they actually have like a holiday. I think that it recently got recognized that they have like a holiday, like a gift shop, and like this is like something that's now celebrated is this big catastrophe that it was like taking cars out and stuff like, and it was absolutely disgusting because they didn't use enough of the explosives to like disintegrate it. It like made it like actually blow up and go everywhere.
Imagine like being on the beach and like you just chunk of like whale hits you in the face.
Yeah, can you imagine like living there and just like, man, they had this big old problem become an absolutely colossal problem.
I feel like it would
But
have blown up. Like it would have blown up itself too, because like all that gas, all that trapped gas, would have like made it explode, but not nearly as bad.
yeah, they just that's what they get for asking the Navy what to do, I guess.
Just blow it up.
Just
Blow
blow
it
it
up.
up. Blow it up. We have
Just
no
sink the boat.
rhyme, reason, or how to do this, but give it a try. See what happens. Now it's a holiday.
um. So speaking of ships, there was a story in this region, Dragon Sea, about the sighting of a mysterious lady sailing a vessel in the Devil Sea in the early 1800s, and it is said that the vessel resembled the traditional Japanese equipment for burning incense, and she was seen sailing this area for the entire 1800s. Like sailors would see her all the time in the area and would try to flag her down, try to follow her, and would just lose her. She'd disappear, and then never found out who she was. But for like 100 plus years, they saw this mysterious, weird lady sailing on her own on this boat in the sea.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, Timelines, ghost ships. I don't even know.
I'd be like, just blow it up.
I guess, like, why wasn't that the solution if that was the solution with all these other things?
Just light a dynamite, just throw it,
Give
and then
it a go.
she can't avoid it. Like it's gonna hit her. Like
Yeah, give it a go. Why not?
um,
The American way.
it the American way. No, the American way, Steph, is to blow the ship up, or no, not blow it up. Take the ship from her. It's now your property, and then take all her rights away. She's also your property now. That's the American way.
Well,
The
yeah, and
American
yes, all of that, but then also blow it up because why not?
awesome. Take it, take her rights, blow the ship up, and then now she's yours and has no boat to her name. Like that's the
Yes, but
American way.
also the boat was theirs, and that's why they could blow it up because they also claimed it. Yes.
Good old America. Good old America. And audience, who is
Nope.
not on the video, we're doing thumbs up. Oh, you can't do it anymore. You can't do your little fireworks, can you?
Nope.
No. Guess it's because you're they've taken your they've really taken your rights away. Like um
I can't.
there you did it. There we go. You did. Oh.
Come on, fireworks.
Oh, there we go.
Back in it. Okay. Whew. I was scared for a second.
Like they really screwed you over. So in 1944, a Japanese pilot had a weird experience in the midst of heavy combat against U.S. forces. Toshiaki Lang claims that he caught sight of a huge sea monster as he traversed the Devil's Sea during an aerial battle. He said the serpent-like monster swam through the water quickly and held its head aloft. The serpent had two triangular wings that helped it navigate through the churning waters, and was supposedly about 150 feet long. Yeah, so basically a giant Loch Ness monster is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Didn't we have stories about like Kraken? Because that's what I started imagining, but then I was like, the triangular part got a little confusing. But then also, we talked about how aliens came from the ocean in the last episode. So I'm just wondering, does that have to do with the aliens? Like,
Is that an alien?
yeah, is it an alien? Is it Kranken? I don't know.
Yeah, no, and the weird thing is that's the only time I read that there was a creature like that, in that area. So if it did exist, it only made an appearance one time, unless it's the lady, but she like changed her body into a serpent, a giant serpent, and
But what's
now is
the
traversing.
triangle things? This is the triangle things for me. Like, I just don't understand that.
Maybe it's like Inception, like the triangle within the triangle. Like
Okay, I've only watched Inception and fell asleep, and then I dreamt about Inception, so I was incepted while watching Inception.
you were in.
I never watched it again. I honestly felt like I watched the movie already. Because I dreamt about it.
Honestly, I liked it. It was pretty good, but I could also see how just being incepted yourself would be the equivalent of watching it.
Yeah, I was like, I had a dream, and it was about like people in a van, and they were like, that happened in the movie, and I was like, I guess I saw it.
Oh, I saw this really cool story. They did a sleep study. I don't recall where it was, but it was like the last like 2 years. They did a sleep study where they tried to communicate between two people in a dream state. They told there were different areas, like different parts of the country. They had this person, they were given a word in a dream. I don't know how they did that specifically, but they gave this person a word in the dream, and the idea was they were supposed to go tell the other person who was also dreaming what that code word was. And when the other person woke up, they were able to accurately say the word that the first person was telling them in their sleep separately.
I love this. I must know more. I love this. Can we try it?
Right. Try real hard. Well, okay, this is what we're gonna do. When you fall asleep tonight, dream of going to we're gonna go to Disney World, and then dream of getting in an elevator,
Nope.
and dream of hitting all 50 floors, and then the
I'm like,
50th floor.
I'm not even dreaming about going to a different world.
And I will. So in my dream, I'm thinking of a word right now, and I'm gonna write it down somewhere. And then if you
Go
hear me say
put
it,
it on your TikTok because I have not been up with TikTok lately. So go put it on your TikTok and I'll let you know if I think of a word that you tell me in my dreams in the next week. And I promise I will not watch any of your TikToks.
okay.
But I'm going to need you to think about this really hard and then also remember to tell me in your dream.
What I'll do is I'll make the video private, so it's not a weird video. People are like, "What the hell is he talking about?" I'll make it a private video, so you can still see the date stamp, and then you can tell me if that word was communicated to you.
Okay, I'll try my best.
And we'll try this Inception thing. Okay, so
I'm excited. Like, okay, it's bedtime.
okay, so the next occurrence happened to another fighter plane. It was a Mitsubishi A6M0, which my expertise of planes. I know exactly what that plane is.
Yeah.
Totally know what that is.
Should I Google? Is it important?
No, it's not important.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
even know what it looks like. Um, so it went missing in the area of the sea towards the end of World War II. Prior to radio silence, the pilot Shiro Kawamoto managed to relay one final message. Something is happening in the sky. The sky is opening up. And then radio silence.
Okay. That's scary. I don't know what that means unless it's like there was a cloudy day or there was a storm coming and then it was like the sky's opening up because it's clearing away. That's the only way that I can see that being a good thing.
or an alien ship came and was like this burst of light.
Yeah, but then it's coming from the ocean, not from the sky. Supposedly.
There you go.
Sky is opening up. Yeah, I don't see that being a good thing. That's the only thing I can think of that would be the storm is clearing. No, no thanks.
So, in 1952, Japan sent a research ship to investigate the disappearances because there had been a lot of things going on in that area. However, that vessel also went missing. Its wreck was later recovered, but no one knows what happened to the 31 crew members on board. They're all gone and without a
A
trace.
ghost plane that went to go figure out what happened, and then everybody's gone.
This is the ghost ship.
Oh, it's a ship. I'm
Yeah, they
scared.
sent.
Okay,
Yeah,
scared.
yeah, they sent a ship out to I think there was more than all these appearances happening, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" So they sent a ship out, and then that ship disappeared too. And then later found, but nobody on board.
I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. Everybody's gone, and they were supposed to be investigating to find out what else was going on out there because all this strange stuff's happening. And then the ship just doesn't have anybody on it. And then what did they do? Did they just go blow it up? This is a different country. They probably didn't blow it up, right?
No, they didn't blow it up. I think they recovered it, but they were better than Americans.
Yeah, they
They
parked it
did not.
somewhere.
They parked it somewhere that was not. Maybe they did park it at the bottom of the ocean, but at least they didn't blow it up. I don't know, but
Yeah, smart, smart. You can park it, then you get to keep it. But yeah, what happened to all those people? Like, see, that's the weirdest thing about boat stuff for me when everybody disappears. Like, I understand that like rough stuff can happen, but then it would look like rough stuff happened. And honestly, a ship that had a bunch of people that no longer has a bunch of people, it should look like rough stuff happened, right? Oh no. Don't.
um, don't like it. So
Mm.
3 years later, 2.5 years later, another ship, Japanese ship, lost radio contact near the area, and Japanese newspapers then began to label the location as Ma no Umi, which translates to Sea of the Devil. However, the ship was located safe and sound with all crew intact 11 days later. However, after this disappearance, the Japanese government strictly forbade any travel through that area.
I mean, that's fair, but did that ship and its crew say what happened?
They they did act like they would never went missing. They go, yeah, we just were out to sea and got a little lost, and that was it. Are they telling the truth, or
Time travel? Different dimension? I don't know. Seems strange. They weren't freaking out at all. They're just like, happens. And then the government's like, but nobody else is going to be traveling here. Not on our watch.
and if you
Which
do,
is sushi.
will
We'll
the
have the
American
American.
government blow you?
Yeah. If you do, the American government will come in. They will say, this is our boat, actually. And then they'll blow it up. And they'll be like, nobody was on it. We don't know where they went because apparently that happens a lot over here.
We promise nobody's on the ship. So that is all the disappearances in that area. There have been some possible explanations. One of which is a field of methane hydrates are present at the bottom of the ocean. When overheated, these create gas eruptions that can easily sink a ship. Um, Other theories are that the hot and cold currents crossing in the area can lead to rough seas and disappearances in the area. And according to the guy that had that theory, Ivan Sanderson, the currents result in electromagnetic disturbances that trap the ships as they pass through.
Interesting. I don't. The sinking ship part, I think, is an interesting theory because it feels like we do a lot of the sinking, like having ships come back and just not having people on them. Like probably not as plausible. Um, yeah, I don't know. The rest of it, who knows? I feel like it's just as likely as like the timeline switches.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially,
there
how
was
are they not freaking out? Like, oh, I just don't know exactly where I'm at. I'm just out at sea somewhere, and they're just like, it's fine. Happens to
I'm just
them.
out here. I'm just out here, chilling. Um,
I'd be so scared. Like mirages in the distance. I'd be like, where's land? I'll never see it again.
so weirdly, you mentioned a time, travel and whatnot, time portal. Um, there is a theory, and this applies to the or is postulated after a disappearance in the Bermuda Triangle of a time tunnel. The theory became famous after pilot Bruce Gernon was flying from Andros to Bimini Island or the Bahamas when he encountered a cloud that led to a tunnel. In his words, he flew into it, and when he came out, he was several hundred miles off course. He claims there was no way he could travel that much distance in that short of a period of time. So that could be like like you said, you go in this area, you pop out over here, and you're gone, but not really gone. In your theory, it could be like they jumped timelines. They just went
Yeah.
to
Timelines, or even just like having that little like blip in time that it doesn't line up to what we see time as. But I've also been telling myself a lot of time is a construct, and
time is a construct. It's a flat circle.
like we made it up. So who am I to say what the rules are?
If time is a construct, and like literally, what was that one theory I had told you? Like that basically we are all one soul.
Oh
Like
my
I
god,
am
I hate
you.
that one.
That one was pretty funny, but like it pissed me off. I was like, man, that like broke my brain. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so I am in all these people at the same time because time is not linear. Time is like a circle, and like you can be anywhere, any place, any point in time at the same time.
Yeah,
So
it
annoying.
literally broke my brain. That's why I hate it. Is because the more I think about it, I'm like trying to understand it, and I have to give up because it breaks my brain.
Yeah, that was yeah. I could not that theory. I was like, fuck this shit. So dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, it's just so that we can keep evolving, but then we can be all these people at one time. And the evolved version of us could have been in the past because time is made up. God, it hurts. It hurts to think about. I can feel my eye twitching.
um. So the last triangle is of course the Bermuda Triangle, and I think we're gonna just touch on a few stories in this area since we have discussed. I'm sure we all know about the Bermuda Triangle. But there were some cool stories that I pulled that I thought were really awesome. Uh, the first one is the Great Isaac Lighthouse. So, unlike other disappearances in other areas of the world, it involves a lighthouse and the two lighthouse keepers that were stationed on the land vanishing. So, a barren island, Great Isaac Rock, already had a grim history. Local lore told of a ship that wrecked with no survivors except for a single infant. The lighthouse was first put into service in the mid 1800s and only inhabited two people, both of its keepers. On August 4th, 1969, a small boat was launched to check on the lighthouse as routine calls had gone unanswered. Upon arrival, the investigators discovered the island was empty and there was no sign of its two guardians. A hurricane had recently passed over the island, but the lack of damage to the living quarters raised question as to why two experienced lighthouse keepers wouldn't have stayed put where they were safest. Others believe that the pair were caught in a drug smuggling ring or perhaps were both kidnapped. But with no evidence of foul play, um, it remains a mystery what happened to them. They're gone.
The only thing, lighthouses are terrifying. And then the fact that these people chose to live in this isolated lighthouse, I mean, any number of things could have happened to them. They could have gone out to do like tracking the weather or something like that, and then not known like what the risks were, or what if like the storm's going over. I've seen Twister before. There's the eye of the storm. They thought everything was clear, and then they get swept away. I don't know. I think it's hard to tell when you make the decision to go live on an area of land that's only made for two people to go live with this lighthouse. Like your job's not that important. Go live your life.
I feel like the crazy thing is, there are a lot of stories of people going missing from lighthouses, like the guardians of the lighthouse, just like missing, and like some obviously, I'm sure were like lonely and like lost their minds, and went into a dark place. But some people were either just disappeared for no reason, or pirates came by and then you're mine now and you're dead. Now you're in the sea.
Yeah, see, none of it seems worth it. Like it just seems like, oh, it's just a job. Like go do something else. Like that doesn't even seem that fun. You have to tend to it all the time. Otherwise, a ship comes along and the lighthouse isn't working how it should, or they can't see what's going on, then all of a sudden you got a shipwreck right there. That's on you. It's too
Yeah.
much responsibility. They can't be paid well enough for that.
I would forget to turn the light on. I'm like, oh shit, light's not on tonight. Shit.
Well, yeah, and then like, okay, you don't hear of retired lighthouse keepers. It just feels like everybody dies out there.
Yeah.
It just, yeah, it doesn't seem worth it to me.
So careers that you want to get into. Number one, lighthouse keeper. I'll make sure I keep an eye out for those for you. Like,
Oh yeah, lighthouse keeper with all of my haunted objects, waiting for the millionaire to come cut my finger off.
yeah, it's a hand first of all, and second of all, I will send you this lovely painting, but I'll include the Santa here. That way, you have a buddy to.
And the crying photo. Don't forget about the painting I sent you earlier.
I really am thinking about that painting. I'm like, I really want that painting,
I
but
cannot believe that's in my local Facebook marketplace.
that's pretty wild. Like, what are the odds? What are the
Yeah,
odds?
we talked about it, and I was like, a crying child? And then it was like, this painter. And so then I looked it up and I was like, yep, this is the painter we talked about on the podcast.
It's the guy that's the crying painting that like apparently burns down people's houses.
Yeah, like now I want to know their story. I also, no, thank you. I'm not touching that. And I don't actually want it. I was being very sarcastic about all of that.
um So the last story of the Bermuda Triangle that I'm going to share that I found kind of creepy was of the ship Carol A. Deering, which on January 31st was found run aground.
Probably because the lighthouse wasn't on deck.
There were speculations that the vessel was involved in rum running. However, when the Barbados investigation team reached the vessel, they found a deserted ship with all of the crew missing, along with everyone's belongings, navigational equipment, logbooks, and life rafts, among other things. The only living thing on board was strangely a six-toed cat.
Wow, a six-toed cat is. I just ghost ships freak me out. Where did all those people go, and why is the cat fine?
Well, the cat ate them.
No, let's get real.
Have you seen? I don't know how big of a Marvel fan you are, but Captain Marvel, the movie.
No.
So there is, and I can't remember what they're called, the creature, but there is an alien that it looks like a cat, but it's like a really like big tentacle kraken looking kind of thing, and
Okay.
it eats people whole. So to save everyone and their ship, they eat all the passengers to keep them safe, and then spit them out later. But that's what I'm thinking here happened is like that
What's
alien.
the name of that thing?
It's a flurkin, a flurkin.
Oh no, I know, David. You want my? Yeah, no, never heard of a flurkin. Um, yikes! It eats them to keep them safe.
Eats them. Well, some people might eat to like consume them, but like it keeps safe. So maybe this cat ate all the 30 people. But also this story did have a little weirder turn. Apparently, days before they went missing, the first what do you call him? First mate. He was trying to organize a mutiny. So it's possible they killed the captain and took all their stuff and left, but like what's with the cat being left behind? Like that's weird.
And then they never found any of them.
Are you on the first floor?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody's handprints behind you.
Yeah, I saw that, and there's I'm in a bathtub and there's a mirror over here, and that is really scary. It did kind of scare me.
Man, I was hoping you'd be like, "No, I'm on the second floor." I'm like, "Oh yes, we got a ghost."
Yeah. No, they're trying to be creepy out there. It worked. It got me.
It I saw your face. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Well, I was staring at it over here, and I was like, I wonder if they could see that behind me.
But so that is all.
Yeah, just ignore
So that is all I have for the Bermuda Triangle. Just a bunch of creepy missing boats, missing aircrafts. I think Amelia Earhart was also one that disappeared in that area.
Yeah, but
And of
they
course,
found her recently.
did they find her? Or did they? I
I
thought
think
like
they found her recently. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the details on it at all, but I think that was it's been a mystery as long as I can remember, and I'm pretty sure in this last like year, maybe two, like 2022 sounds right, but like I said, time doesn't make any sense to me. So
yep.
yeah,
Well,
and I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I think that they did end up finding her like on an island or something.
that's crazy. I thought she was still missing, but man. But I think she had like gone missing over the if I recall correctly, it was over the Bermuda Triangle, so
I mean,
another
yeah, another mystery of what the hell happens in the Bermuda Triangle. What's going on there?
well, everyone, thank you for sticking with us through, parts 1 and 2. Um, we hope you have a great rest of your week, and Thanksgiving. And guys, we are considering starting a Patreon. I've got it started a little bit, haven't actually launched it, so I will hopefully launch it this week, and we can put a link in our bio and see if anyone still don't feel pressured to donate anything, but if you want to, you can. Um, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.